All right, man. Let's talk heavy on this thing, man. Let's talk about Michigan. People was asked me, and somebody asked me in the comment section when I thought about Michigan. I ain't really been able to cover Michigan basketball this year. I've been like super duper busy. So I've seen some of their games. I've seen the national championship. I've seen the national championship game. I seen them put belt the ass to Arizona. Arizona I was surprised, honestly. I was surprised they put them in Arizona on the same side of the bracket, And what I was hearing from people on the threads, on social media, in a little paragraph, the little captions in the comment section, they were saying that, Arizona hadn't played nobody all year. That was the thing. They were saying that Arizona hadn't played nobody all year. That was the crazy thing about it. They were saying that, well, Arizona hadn't played anybody all year. And, Michigan straight trashed them. And Dusty May, in his second year, has the same amount of national championships as Tom Izzo. Check out the College Sports Talk playlist. The Arizona game was just an obliteration. Even when Axel, he went out the game. They played very good team ball. The guard play I heard needed to step it up. They stepped it up. The kid from North Carolina, he stepped it up. He stepped it up in a major way. The kid from the freshman from Flint, he stepped it up in a major way. Even when Axel went down, they still played great team ball. Mara played well. To be honest with you, Dusty May is a good coach. He was a guy that I heard he took Florida Atlanta to the Final Four. That was, he took, and people, he was like a grad assistant or interim, grad assistant at Indiana, and they let him get out the program. And Florida Atlanta, he took them to the national championship, and people thought he was too quirky. And honestly, he did a great job. People could talk about Michigan roster was bought. It was a paid for roster. So what? The reason why you see like Nick Saban getting out of here, Mike Krzyzewski retiring and all that, allegedly they have been paying for rosters for years. They have been paying for players for years. And that's why the SEC fell from grace, is because a lot of times they were paying for play. They were paying for play. It's been a thing, especially in down south. When they caught SMU for it, when they busted SMU for pay for play, they hit them with the death penalty. SMU just now starting to recover from that, from when Eric Dickerson and what was the white running back they had that was on ESPN? I forget his name. When they was a running back duo, they just not starting to recover from that and get back in the mix. But they just took a small private institution at SMU and used them as an example. So pay for play, it been a thing. Now that it's legal, you seen that, hey, now you can do it without doing it under the table. You starting to see, a lot of these dudes who had a competitive advantage, say the Alabamas, the Dukes and all, they ain't got that advantage like that no more. The gap is closed. And for you to take 5 transfers or whatever it was and still make them play as a unified team, that's great coaching. For them to respect you, you know what I'm saying? And for them to play the brand of basketball that you laid out for them, it's to be respected. It's to be respected. And I really think people don't really understand it. I think people don't really understand it. That's hard to do in itself, is to get all them guys from here and there and make them buy into the program. And do I like the transfer or the NIL transfer portal? No. I like to see it get reformed. I like that these young kids, these kids getting paid, but I like to see it reformed. Really would. So, you know, only time gonna tell. Only time is gonna tell. Only time is gonna tell. But the UConn game, I mean, I guess they got it right by putting UConn on the other side of the bracket. Hurley is a good coach. You know, he was able to slow Michigan down. They scored at least 90 points in the first 5 games of the tournament. He was able to slow that ass down. And Michigan still beat them at their game. So UConn couldn't do nothing but shake their hand and say, you know, appreciate it, good game. Because UConn like, damn, we lost by 2 playing, you know, we lost 92-90 playing their game. No, UConn slowed the game down and still got beaten and grinded out, slow it down, ball control, half-court basketball. They still lost. Michigan proved that they can play fast break basketball. They can play half-court basketball. They can play it out a gritty, grinded out basketball. They proved that they can play. They can play all to damn near every brand of basketball they could. So, I mean, UConn was a worthy opponent. We thought Arizona should be the national champion, and UConn and Michigan gave us a good national championship. That great one down the stretch. Michigan made some plays. It was a blown layup. The freshman from Flint hit that 3-pointer, and pretty much that was what it was. That's what it was. You know, and they didn't have Yaxo at full strength, but they played so well. Mara's a good ball player, and Dusty had, you know, what he didn't have at Florida Atlantic. He didn't have a brand name. He didn't have the money. Michigan got money. Michigan got money. And that's one thing about Michigan State. Like, they had never had the money that Michigan got. You know, and that's just the difference of it. You know? So, you know, Dusty was a great hire. It was kind of like, damn, you know, they got rid of Juwan for Dusty. I mean, but shit, they knew what they was talking. You know, as much as they talk about Ward Manual, I keep running into overload trucks every day. They got, I think, a shed on here. Yep. No, that might be a fucking trailer. Yeah, that's a whole, like, little trailer house. You know, we was like, oh, man, them motherfuckers hired. Who? Dusty who? I remember Dusty McFly, I'm out here. I'm like, who? And, you know, Ward Manual, man, people's on the fire Ward Manual, and he needs to, like, what the fuck you mean he need to go? He delivered 2 national championships in football and basketball. Y'all trying to push that man out the door. Like, is you crazy? He's delivering. He's delivering. But hey, check out the College Sports Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share, subscribe to the channel.